Cyrano, Regano, poets, Carbon de Castelgelou, the cadets, a crowd, then de Gueche. Regano, can we come in? Cyrano, without stirring yes. Regano signs to his friends, and they come in. At the same time, by door at back, enters Carbon de Castelgelou, in captain's uniform. He makes gestures of surprise on seeing Cyrano. Carbon, here he is. Cyrano, raising his head, Captain. Carbon, delightedly our hero. We heard all. 30 or more of my cadets are there. Cyrano, shrinking back but. Carbon, trying to draw him away, come with me. They will not rest until they see you. Cyrano, no. Carbon, they're drinking opposite, at the Bear's Head. Cyrano, I. Carbon, going to the door and calling across the street in a voice of thunder he won't come. The heroes in the sulks. A voice, outside Sandius. Tumult outside. Noise of boots and swords is heard approaching. Carbon, rubbing his hands, they are running cross the street. Cadets, entering Mildias. Cap Didius. Po Cap Didius. Regano, drawing back, startled gentlemen, are you all from Gascony? The cadets, all. A cadet, to Cyrano, bravo. Cyrano, Baron. Another, shaking his hands, vivat. Cyrano, Baron. Third cadet, come. I must embrace you. Cyrano, Baron. Several Gascons, we'll embrace him, all in turn. Cyrano, not knowing whom to reply to Baron, I beg. Regano, are you all barons, sirs? The cadets, every one. Regano, is it true? First cadet, why, you could build a tower with nothing but our coronets, my friend. Libret, entering, and running up to Cyrano, they're looking for you. Here's a crazy mob led by the men who followed you last night. Cyrano, alarmed, what? Have you told them where to find me? Libret, rubbing his hands, yes. A burgher, entering, followed by a group of men, sir, all the Marais is coming here. Outside the street has filled with people. Chaises of porteurs and carriages have drawn up. Libret, in a low voice, smiling, to Cyrano and Roxane. Cyrano, quickly hush. The crowd, calling outside Cyrano. A crowd rush into the shop, pushing one another. Acclamations. Regano, standing on a table low. My shop invaded. They break all. Magnificent. People, crowding round Cyrano, my friend. Cyrano, meseems that yesterday I had not all these friends. Libret, delighted success. A young marquis, hurrying up with his hands held out, my friend, didst thou but know? Cyrano, thou, did marry, did thou, pray when did we herd swine together, you and I? Another, I would present you, sir, to some fair dames who in my carriage yonder. Cyrano, coldly, and who will first present you, sir, to me? Libret, astonished, what's wrong? Cyrano, hush. A man of letters, with writing board a few details? Cyrano, no. Libret, nudging his elbow, 'tis Theophrast, Renaudet. Of the Court Gazette. Cyrano, who cares? Libret, this paper, but it is of great importance. They say it will be an immense success. A poet, advancing, sir. Cyrano, what, another? The poet, pray permit I make a pentacrostic on your name. Someone, also advancing, pray, sir. Cyrano, enough. Enough. A movement in the crowd. De Guiche appears, escorted by officers. Quigi, Brissail, the officers who went with Cyrano the night before. Quigi comes rapidly up to Cyrano. Cuigy, to Cyrano, here is Monsieur de Guiche? A murmur, everyone makes way, he comes from the Marshal of Gassyon. De Guiche, bowing to Cyrano, but who would express his admiration, sir, for your new exploit noised so loud abroad. The crowd, bravo. Cyrano, bowing, the Marshal is a judge of valor. De Guiche, he could not have believed the thing, unless these gentlemen had sworn they witnessed it. Cuigy, with our own eyes. Libret, aside to Cyrano, who has an absent air, but, you. Cyrano, hush. Libret, but, you suffer? Cyrano, starting before this rabble, I? He draws himself up, twirls his mustache, and throws back his shoulders. Wait, you shall see. De Guiche, to whom Quigi has spoken in a low voice in feats of arms, already your career abounded, you serve with those crazy pates of Gascons? Cyrano, I, with the cadets. A cadet, in a terrible voice, with us. De Guiche, looking at the cadets, ranged behind Cyrano, but all these gentlemen of haughty mien, are they the famous? Carbon, Cyrano. Cyrano, I, Captain. Carbon, since all my company's assembled here, pray favor me, present them to my lord. Cyrano, making 2 steps toward de Guiche, my lord de Guiche, permit that I present, pointing to the cadets, the bold cadets of Gascony, of Carbon of Castelgelou. Brawling and swaggering boastfully, the bold cadets of Gascony. Spouting of armory, heraldry, their veins brimming with blood so blue, the bold cadets of Gascony, of Carbon of Castelgelou. Eagle eye, and spindleshanks, fierce mustache, and wolfish tooth. Slash the rabble and scatter their ranks, eagle eye and spindleshanks, with a flaming feather that gaily pranks, hiding the holes in their hats, forsooth. Eagle eye and spindleshanks, fierce mustache, and wolfish tooth. Pink your doublet and slit your trunk are their gentlest sobriquets, with fame and glory their soul is drunk. Pink your doublet and slit your trunk, in brawl and skirmish they show their spunk, give rendezvous in broil and fray, pink your doublet and slit your trunk are their gentlest sobriquets. What, ho! Cadets of Gascony! All jealous lovers are sport for you. O woman! Dear divinity! What, ho! Cadets of Gascony! Whom scowling husbands quake to see. Blow, tara, and cry cuckoo. What, ho! Cadets of Gascony! Husbands and lovers are game for you. De Guiche, seated with haughty carelessness in an armchair brought quickly by Ragueneau, a poet. 'Tis the fashion of the hour. Will you be mine? Cyrano, no, sir, no man's. De Guiche, last night your fancy pleased my Uncle Richelieu. I'll gladly say a word to him for you. Le Bret, overjoyed, great heavens! D.E. Guiche, I imagine you have rhymed 5 acts, or so? Le Bret, in Cyrano's ear your play, your Agrippine. You'll see it staged at last. D.E. Guiche, take them to him. Cyrano, beginning to be tempted and attracted in sooth, I would. D.E. Guiche, he is a critic skilled, he may correct a line or two, at most. Cyrano, whose face stiffens at once impossible. My blood congeals to think that other hand should change a comma's dot. D.E. Guiche, but when a verse approves itself to him he pays it dear, good friend. Cyrano, he pays less dear than I myself. When a verse pleases me I pay myself, and sing it to myself. D.E. Guiche, you are proud. Cyrano, really? You have noticed that? A cadet, entering, with a string of old battered plumed beaver hats, full of holes, slung on his sword. See, Cyrano, this morning, on the quay what strange bright feathered game we caught. The hats owe the fugitives. Carbon, spolia opima. All, laughing ah. 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 Cuigy, he who laid that ambush, faith, must curse and swear. Brissail, who was it? D.E. Guiche, I myself. The laughter stops, I charge them, work too dirty for my sword, to punish and chastise a remstersot. Constrained silence. The cadet, in a low voice, to Cyrano, showing him the beavers, what do with them? They're full of grease, a stew? Cyrano, taking the sword and, with a salute, dropping the hats at de Guiche's feet, sir, pray be good enough to render them back to your friends. D. Guiche, rising, sharply, my chair there, quick, I go. To Cyrano passionately as to you, Sirrah. Voice, in the street porters for my Lord de Guiche. D.E. Guiche, who has controlled himself, smiling, have you read Don Quixote? Cyrano, I have. And doff my hat at th mad knight errant's name. D.E. Guiche, I counsel you to study. A porter, appearing at back my lord's chair. D.E. Guiche, dot the windmill chapter. Cyrano, bowing, chapter the 13th. D.E. Guiche, for when one tilts gainst windmills, it may chance. Cyrano, till against those who change with every breeze? D.E. Guiche, dot that windmill sails may sweep you with their arm down in the mire. Cyrano, or upward to the stars. De Guiche goes out, and mounts into his chair. The other lords go away whispering together. Le Bret goes to the door with them. The crowd disperses.